Good evening, everybody. This is Robert at RJL 518, welcoming you to another exciting edition of Payoff Pitch 1985. Tonight, we are at Riverfront Stadium, and we got a heck of a game tonight. It is the St. Louis Cardinals taking on the Cincinnati Reds. This is a nice early season matchup between these two teams here in the National League. The Cardinals right now are tied with the Montreal Expos in wins. They're only about pretty much a half game back of the Philadelphia Phillies. The Cincinnati Reds are 2 games back of the Dodgers in the National League West. Both teams have winning records. Both teams are good. Both teams are loaded. This should be a great game. Of course, I knew Philip Reynolds would be first one here at Riverfront Stadium for this game between the Cardinals and the Reds. It will be Danny Cox taking on John Stuper. That is the matchup that came up that was scheduled. So I'm hoping we have a pretty good game tonight. As we said, both these teams are right now very much in the early part of the playoff race. But of course, we are still in the month of May as we move through this 85 replay. So fans here at Riverfront Stadium, all set and ready to go. This is a good matchup and looking forward to playing this one. So let's see what happens. Starting pitcher for the Cincinnati Reds in this game was John Stuper. He was 8-5 with a 4.55 ERA. He only started 13 games. He relieved a lot, relieved about 20 of them. But he got the call for this game here at Riverfront on this date. So let's get things underway. As Philip Reynolds says, go Cards. But of course, we know he is a Reds fan, and we know he is rooting for the boys wearing the red jersey with the big C on the front. Leading off for the Cardinals will be left fielder Vince Coleman. Stuper is a right-hander. Coleman batted .282 against the rights. And of course, Coleman was 23 years old, and he was stealing bases all over the place. One of his best years, he had 110 stolen bases that year. He pretty much was, at least in this season, he was the Ricky Henderson of the National League. Stuper begins the game and starts with a wheelhouse 79, but that will be a fly out to center. And that is taken away by Milner, out number 1. Here is the center fielder, Willie McGee, batted .356 with 3 homers against rights in 85. This Cardinals team is graded an A, and remember, they did make it. They were the National League champions in 85, losing to the Royals in 7 in the World Series. Kevin Hayes joins us here at Riverfront Stadium. Pitch from Stuper, and that is going to be a tough 0-6. Struck him out. McGee goes down on a strikeout. Stuper gets off to a good start with the first 2 batters. Here is the second baseman, Tommy Herr, batted .313 with 5 homers against rights. As I said, this Cardinals team is good. So is this Reds team. Maybe not as good as St. Louis, but they were very, very tough. Pitch from Stuper. That is an in-play 95. Fly ball left field. And Gary Reedus will put that away. And that is a 1-2-3 inning for the Cardinals. They originally won this game 7-2, historically. Bottom of the first inning, and the Cardinals have their ace on the mound, and that would be Danny Cox. He was 18-9, 2.88 ERA. Cox was very, very tough to get through. One of their aces, at least him with Todd Worrell and John Tudor, this Cardinals team, as I said, very good pitching, very good hitting. But tonight, we'll see if the Reds can get a big win. Leading off for Cincinnati will be center fielder Eddie Milner. Cox is a right-handed pitcher, and Milner batted .259 against the rights. And here's the pitch from Cox. That is an in-play 0-7. Milner will lead off with a clean double into center field. That's a good way to start for the Reds. Milner leads off with a double. That gets the Riverfront Stadium crowd excited. Here's the first baseman, Pete Rose. Rose was 44 years old in 85. Batted .253 against right-handers. As Philip Reynolds says, tequila is at the bar. Excellent. Milner on at second. Here's the pitch from Cox. And that's going to be a patient 47, and he walked him. And Rose will trot down to first on a walk. Danny Cox averaged 2.4 walks per 9, and that is his first of the game. Here's the right fielder, Dave Parker. Batted .327, 27 homers against rights. Runners at first and second, nobody out as the Reds are in business. Starting here, the bottom of the first. Cox with the pitch. That's a patient 95. That will be a fly ball to right field. And coming under it will be Van Slyke. And that is out number 1. Milner with a run rating of 10 will definitely try to advance to third base on a patient he can. And let's see what it will be. On a patient he can do it. And on the coach's choice chart, Milner's run rating is a 10. Van Slyke's arm rating is a 5. He's got a very good arm. Milner, I'll tell you. So I wonder if Philip Reynolds will. Let me ask Philip Reynolds. Do you want me to try to get Milner to third, or do you want him to stay at second? Because I'm going to be going to you to make some decisions. Milner's here's what it would be on a 5 or on a. Here's how it would be. You roll a 2d6 compared to the lead runner's run rating and fielder's arm rating. Milner's run rating is a 10. Van Slyke has a very good arm, and he has a 5. You tell him to stay. Okay. He will stay. And so basically what happened, a 4 or lower, Milner would have been safe. Somewhere between a 5 and a 10 would have been, a 5 to a 9 would have been a play at third. Okay, and a 10, an 11 would have been out. But you tell him to stay, you will stay. So Parker flies out, 1 man down, and here is the catcher, Alan Nicely. He got the call today at catcher for this game. Batted .286 against rights, too early. Pitch from Cox. That is an in play, 26, and that's going to be a good call by Reynolds because that is going to be a base hit. It is a single, an opposite field liner into right field. Runner on first advances 2 bases. Milner easily comes home to score, and it is 1-0 Reds. Philip Reynolds makes the right call, and it is 1-0 Reds on a RBI single by Nicely. Runner at first and third now. And the batter is Gary Reedus. He is in left field for this game. Batted .263 against rights. Runners at the corners. The Cardinals are going to call the infield in. So Pete Rose is on at third. They'll call the infield in early. So let's see what happens. Nicely not running, of course. Here's the pitch from Cox. And that is another in play, 20. That will be a single by Gary Reedus. Pete Rose will come in to score. We know that. It's a soft blooper into right field. Nicely will advance to second, and he will hold there. And Reedus is on first, and the Reds jump out to a 2-0 lead on Danny Cox. Only 1 out. They're going to go talk to Cox on the mound, see if he's okay. And still only 1 out here on the bottom of the first. Here's the shortstop, Dave Concepcion. Runners at first and second, still 1 out. Fans here, Riverfront Stadium, enjoying the Reds getting out to a jump on their division, on their rival, the Cardinals. Of course, these were not division rivals in 1985. The Cardinals were in the East and the Reds were in the West at the time. Pitch from Cox. That is a patient 98, and that is a fly ball to left field. That ball will be tracked down by Coleman. That is out number 2. Nicely, a run rating of 4 will definitely not go anywhere. He will stay at second base, even though a patient would have allowed him to take a chance. He will stay at second, but there are now 2 outs. Third baseman Wayne Kranchicki comes up to bat, batted .276 against the rights. Nicely on at second, Reedus at first. Pitch from Cox. And that is another patient 20, and that's a walk. So right now, Danny Cox does not have much control, as that is his second walk of the game, and the bases are loaded. Coming up is the second baseman, Tom Foley. He will bat. Only batted 175 against rights. Bases loaded now, 2 outs. Can Foley come through with a big hit? Pitch from Cox. That's another patient. It's a 12, and he walks Foley. Wow, Cox is not getting it done. The merry-go-round turns. That's already the third walk by Cox. Nicely will come in to score. It's 3-0 Reds. Stadium cheers. Yay! Reds are off to a fast start here in the bottom of the first. That brings up the pitcher, John Stuper, does not have his own hitting card in this game. So, at least in this season. So he will use hitting card number 10, which means he's capable of hitting. 2 outs, bases loaded. Cox having a rough game start. Here's the pitch. And that is a tough 22. Swing and a miss struck him out. And that will end it. 3 runs for the Reds on 1, 2, 3 hits, and 3 walks. At the end of 1, the Reds are already up 3-0. As the Reds send all 9 to the plate. Top of the second. Leading off for the Redbirds will be first baseman Jack Clark. Batted .261 with 13 homers against rights in 85. Pitch from Stuper. That is a patient 63. Clark leads off with a double. He hits that one into left field. Clark will easily hold at second base. He will hold there. And that's a leadoff double for the Cardinals. Good ways for them to start. The right fielder, Andy Van Slyke, will come up to bat. Batted .281 with 13 homers against rights. Pitch from Stuper. And that is a tough 92. Fly ball right field. Parker will get to that one. That's the first out. Here's Terry Pendleton. Pendleton, the third baseman, batted .245 in 80 against the rights. Clark on its second. Pitch on the way. In play, 29. That's a base hit by Pendleton. It will be a single. It's a soft blooper into short left field. The runner on second, Clark, coming around third. He will score. It's 3-1. On an RBI single by Pendleton. Cardinals get on the board. Here's the shortstop, the Wizard of Oz, Ozzie Smith. Batted .266 against righties. Pendleton has a 4 rating of a steal, will not go. And Smith will bat. Stuper on the mound, 1 out here, now 3-1. Pitch from Stuper. That is an in-play 82. That's a fly ball straight away center field. Milner will make that catch. That's out number 2. Here's the catcher, Darryl Porter. Batted .228 with 9 homers against rights in 85. 1 run in for the Redbirds, but now 3-1. Pendleton on first. Pitch from Porter. That is a ballpark 54. That will be in play. In play 39 on Porter, and he's good up. And that is going to be a ground ball to first base. That's going to get taken care of there by Pete Rose. He will come and tag the bag himself, and the inning is over. Cardinals do get 1 run on a couple of hits. 3-1 now going into the bottom of inning number 2. Eddie Milner will lead it off for the Reds here. He started the game with a leadoff double, and the Reds could put 3 runs up on the first inning. We'll see if Danny Cox has calmed down a little bit. Pitch to Milner. That is a ballpark 85. That's an in play. In play 13, Milner's going to start with a base hit. He will get a single and his second hit of the game. The next batter is Pete Rose. Eddie Milner has a 5+ steal rating, has a 5 rating. That is a 12. Usually when a 12 occurs, if there is a jump attempt, the only time I use a jump attempt is if the person trying to steal does not get the jump. So there will be no jump attempt. And Milner, of course, is not even going to be able to run with a 12. So he will have to hold it first, even though Milner was pretty quick. Pete Rose, the batter. Dave Gardner joins me now here at Riverfront Stadium. Milner on it first. There's the pitch from Cox. And that is a tough 69. That is a fly ball right field. Coming under that will be Van Slyke for out number 1. Parker comes up to bat now. Parker flew out his last time up. 1 out here, bottom of the first. Reds already up 3-1 on the Cardinals. Cox with the pitch. That is another ballpark. And, oh, that's leaner. I have to re-roll it. Dang, that stinks. Re-roll again. Again comes up the ballpark, but this time it's a ballpark 40. Parker is a lefty, and that is just going to be an in-play. But an in-play 95 is a fly ball to right field. He hits it high, hits it deep, but not deep enough. Van Slyke will make that catch, out number 2. Parker just missed it. Here's Alan Nicely. Nicely got an RBI single his last time up. As Gardner says, he just got his fact cards in. As you need to use them, I strongly recommend using them. And personally, I prefer hybrid. Dice and the cards. The dice start the play, the cards end the play, if needed. Pitch from Cox to Nicely. That is a patient 39. Nicely's going to find himself on base for the second time tonight as he walks. Danny Cox not off to a good start tonight. He was 18-9 with a 2.88 ERA in 85, but he is having some issues. And now Gary Reedus takes a good crack at things. He got a single his last time up. 2 outs. Runners at first and second. Reds in business. Can Cox get out of the jam? And that is a ballpark 72. That's an in-play. In-play 12. Reedus is going to smack a double. It's a drive down the line to right field. Runners advance 2 bases. Milner will come in to score. Nicely with a run rating of 4, has to hold at third. If his run rating was a 6 or higher, I would not have had to draw the card because he would have automatically scored. But Reedus is on second base. RBI double for Reedus. Runners now at second and third. 4-1 Reds. As Riverfront Stadium enjoying the ball game so far. Here's Dave Concepcion. He flew out his last time up. Runners at second and third. Cox already passed his fatigue score, but of course he's not fatigued until inning number 7. Pitch from Cox. Patient again, another walk. And Concepcion draws the walk, and that is walk number 5 for Cox. He only averaged 2.4 walks per 9, but he has given up 5 walks today, and the bases will be loaded for Wayne Krenchicki. Konchicki walked his last time up. A big chance for the Reds to blow this game wide open. Already leading by 3 runs. Bases loaded. Here's the pitch to Konchicki. And that is a tough 69. That's a fly ball center field. That'll get taken care of by McGee. And that will end the inning. 1 run for the Reds on 2 hits and a couple of walks. 2 innings in the books. Reds leading 4-1. In a matchup of two teams with winning records here. And right now, winning records is what matters in my 85 replay. Remember, top 3 teams in each division make the playoffs. Kevin Hayes says, go to the pen. Said, not quite yet. Top of the 3rd inning. And Danny Cox is due to lead off. I'm going to check St. Louis's, see how many long relievers they have in there. And they only got a couple. Down 4-1, top of the 3rd inning. You got to let Cox go a little longer. Cox will bat. Top of the 3rd. He actually has his own hitting card. Batted 152 against 152 in 85. He will bat. Stuper with the pitch. That's an in-play 56. Fly ball right field. Pretty lazy. Coming under that will be Parker, out number 1. This is 1980s baseball. Even though the pitchers got off to a rough start, they kept them out there a little longer. Here's Coleman. Coleman flew out his last time up. Pitch from Stuper. Defense check, 0-0. We got a rare play. And it is a defense rare play, which means I actually have to use the defense chart. And here it is, it's a 2. Left fielder or right fielder catches fly ball and flips ball into stands. Runners advance 2 bases, but there are no runners on there. All the positions, it is a single. But he makes so left fielder or right fielder catches fly ball and flips ball into stands. Well, it's an out. So, and I'll say since he hit from the left side, that ball was hit to the left fielder. So it's a fly out to left, out number 2. Two men down. Here's Willie McGee. McGee is 0 for 1. Pitch from Stuper. And that's a tough 25. And McGee's going to get a single. That is a base hit. McGee smacks that one into center. Single for McGee. And now Tommy Herr. McGee does have a steal attempt chance with a 5, but not with 2 outs. They'll let her bat. They're down by 3 runs. They're not stealing now. Tom Herr will bat against Stuper. Here's the pitch. And that is an in-play 31. Herr will have himself a base hit. That is a single. McGee, with a run rating of 8, automatically makes 3rd with 2 outs. Herr is on at 1st. And now the Cardinals are in business. Here's Jack Clark. They go talk to Stuper on the mound real quick, check to see if he's all right. Now they'll get back to him. Top of the 3rd, 4-1 Reds, but the Cardinals are threatening. Clark definitely has the ability to hit one out, and he hit a double his last time up. Here's the pitch from Stuper, and that is a tough 20. Strikeout. Clark will go down on strikes. And the inning is over. No runs for the Cardinals. A couple of hits. It remains 4-1 as Clark gets a swing and a miss. Bottom of the 3rd. Tom Foley leads off for the Reds. And he walked his last time up. See what happens with Cox's pitch. That is a patient 36. That's a base hit by Tom Foley. Foley will get a single. He hits that one to center. And he reaches base for the second time today. Danny Cox is hitting the patients a lot today. The 4s and the 10s are coming up for Cox. Foley on it first. That will bring up the pitcher, John Stuper. And he'll go ahead and sacrifice, no doubt. So Stuper will do a sacrifice. His bunt rating is an A. All we do is flip a card. And with an A, that's good. It's a bunted at the plate to the catcher. And as an A, it is an SH. So it's a sacrifice. Perfectly works. The throw goes to first for 1 out. And Foley will go to second. So that is an SH2. Even though the auto sacrifice didn't come up, they're still going to make the play. And Foley finds himself at second base. 1 out. Here's Eddie Milner. Milner, 2 for 2, a single and a double. Cox checks and deals. And that is an in play, 37. That will be a base hit for Milner. It's a single. It's a sharp liner into center field. Tom Foley rounding third. He will come home easily. He will score. It is now 5-1 Reds. Eddie Milner 3 for 3 in tonight's game, as the Reds are definitely putting a hurt on the Birds. The batter now will be Pete Rose. And now I may be forced to take Cox out. I'm going to leave him in there just a little longer. Pete Cox will pitch to Rose. 5-1 Cincinnati with 1 out. Here's the pitch. And that is a tough 22. Base hit, Pete Rose. Single. Wow. Boy, Cox is getting some lousy rolls. Line drive into left field. Runner on first will only advance 1 base. Milner goes to second. He will hold there. Rose holds at first. And that will be it for Cox. I got no choice. He's got nothing tonight. Bears Den 007 joins us here at Riverfront Stadium. The next batter for the Reds is Dave Parker, and the Cardinals going to the bullpen very early. And they're going to go with Bob Forsch. He's a starter, but he can also relieve a little bit. He's long relief, so Forsch will come in. May the Force be with you. 9-6, 3.91 ERA, adds 10 to the tough rolls. So Bob Forsch will now pitch to Dave Parker, 1 out here in the bottom of the third, and the Reds are off to a hot start, as I know Philip Reynolds is very happy to see that. Parker is 0 for 2. Here's the pitch from Forsch. And that is an in-play 29. That won't matter. That's going to be a base hit by Dave Parker. It's a single. Grounder up the middle to center field. Runner on second will score. Rose goes to third. Parker has his first hit of the game. 6-1 Reds. Stadium cheers. Yay! Here's Allen Nicely with runners at the corners. Cardinals are going to play the infield back, try to get 2 outs, but the Reds are all over St. Louis in this game right now. 6-1. And 1 out here. And Philip Reynolds got 1 call right. So runners at first and third. Nicely is 1 for 1, singled and walked. Bob Forsch trying to stop the bleeding. Pitch on the way. That is a tough 86 because of the +10 roll. That will be a ground ball to short. Nicely's double play rating's a 9. Force is a 7. That is a 9. They will not turn 2. Parker's run rating is a 5. The throw goes to second to get Parker. He will be out. Nicely, however, will be safe, but Rose will score, and it's 7-1. It is a fielder's choice, but Nicely does get an RBI. 7-1 Reds. Here's Gary Reedus. Reedus is 2 for 2 tonight, as the Reds are just getting hit after hit after hit. 2 outs. Can Bob Force put the inning away? And that is a tough 70-60. He will do so. Fly ball center field. And that will do it. 3 runs for Cincinnati on 4 hits. At the end of 3, Reds all over the Cardinals, 7-1. I was hoping for a close game, a better game, but I guess some team woke up to play and someone didn't. But it is still early, top of the 4th. Stuper coming out to pitch. He will deal with Andy Van Slyke. Stuper's pitch. And that is a ballpark 91. That's in play. In play 99 as easily as a fly out to right field. Parker will make the catch. Out number 1 as Van Slyke flies out to right for the second straight time. Here is Terry Pendleton. Stuper. That is an in-play 07. Pendleton will have a single base hit for Terry. He'll go to first, and that is Pendleton's second hit of the game. The Wizard of Oz comes up to bat. He was 30 years old in 1985. Pendleton on in first. Nobody stealing. You're down or bunting or hit and run, anything like that. You're down by 6 runs. Stuper looks in at Smith. Pitch on the way. That is a patient 38. That will be a single for Smith. It's a base hit. It's an opposite field liner into left field. Runner on first advances 2 bases. Pendleton will go to third. Smith holds it first. Now the Cardinals are in business. Here's Darryl Porter. 1 out. Reds will play the infield back. You're up by 6 runs. You just want to get outs, even though it's early, top of the 4th. Porter will bat. Grounded out his last time up. Pitch from Stuper. And that is a patient 94. That's a fly ball to right field. And that ball is going to be caught by Parker. That is out number 2. Pendleton's run rating is a 7. Parker's arm is a 5. It's a patient, which means I automatically have the choice if I want to send Pendleton. And with 2 outs, we're going to send him. If it was an in-play, this roll would have to be under the run rating. If it's a patient, I can make the choice no matter what. It's an automatic choice. We're going to send Pendleton. So the throw is going to come home. So here comes the throw on a runner advancement. So here it is. We draw a card. 5 or lower, he is safe. 6, 7, it's a play at the plate. 8, he is out. It is a 7, play at the plate. Now we roll percentile dice. It's a 41, and he is out of there. Terry Pendleton is thrown out at the plate by Dave Parker. Side retired. No runs for the Cardinals on 2 hits as they try to get Pendleton in there, but Pendleton can't get score as he's thrown out by Parker. And that ends the inning. Still 7-1 Reds. Bottom of the 4th. Bob Force will pitch. Dave Concepcion leads off for Cincinnati. And that is a ballpark 30. That is a wheelhouse for Concepcion. But a wheelhouse 86 is a ground out to short. That'll get taken care of by Ozzie Smith for out number 1. Here's Wayne Krenchicki. Pitch from Force. That is a patient 39, and it's a walk. Krenchicki trots down to first. Another walk given up by the St. Louis pitching staff. Here's Tom Foley. Krenchicki not a stealing threat, but you're up by 6 runs. So that pretty much takes care of any strategy. Force's pitch. Patient again. Patient 61. That's a fly ball to left field. That'll get taken care of by Coleman for the second out. That'll bring up the pitcher, John Stuper, and he'll hit. Pitch from Force. That is an in-play 15. Stuper's going to get himself a base hit as a single. It's a hard grounder. It's a hard grounder into right field. Actually, into left field. Runner on first advances 1 base. Krenchicki will hold at second as a base hit by Stuper. How about that? A single by the pitcher. Right now, Stuper looks like to be the player of the game for the Reds, the way he's pitching and doing the job. Top of the order, here's Eddie Milner with 2 outs. Pitch from Force. Ballpark 46, that's an in-play. In-play 65 to Milner is a ground out to short. That is picked up by Smith, and he will throw to second to get Stuper, and that will end the inning. And that's the first time that Milner's retired. He's now 3 for 4. No runs for the Reds on a hit and a walk. At the end of 4, Reds leading 7-1 on the Cardinals. In a big early season matchup between these two teams with winning records. Cardinals come into this game 23-16. Cincinnati is 23-17. As they're both looking at early playoff pushes, but we got a long way to go before we talk playoffs. Top of the 5th, John Stuper will see a pinch hitter for Force. He is done. So they'll bring out a pinch hitter. Let's see, got a righty. And let's see who they're going to bring out. And pinch hitting for the Cardinals will be Tom Nito. He will bat against Stuper. Tom Nito against Stuper here, top of the 5th inning. Pitch on the way. And that is a tough 18. Struck him out. Nito will head back to the bench as he could not do anything that turn. And here's Vince Coleman. As Philip Reynolds says, give the MVP to the manager. You got it, Phil. You can have the MVP. 1 out. Stuper's pitch. That's an in-play 71. Ground ball, second base. Foley will throw to first. And that is out number 2. How do you keep Vince Coleman from hurting you? Don't let him get on base. And that's exactly what the Reds have done here. He is 0 for 3. Here's Willie McGee. He's 1 for 2. Pitch from Stuper. And that is a defense check 35. Error check to the shortstop. Error check to the shortstop. The ball was hit to Concepcion. His error rating is a 3. That is a 35, and that is, yep, he's going to make a bobble. He's going to bobble it. That's an error. It's a one-base error as Concepcion bobbles it, throws to first, but not in time. McGee will make it there. That is an E6. Or not McGee, I'm sorry, Concepcion. McGee makes, yeah, Concepcion makes the error. E6, first error on the Reds. As they make an error and allows McGee to go to first. And now Tommy Herr comes up as Philip Reynolds says, boo. McGee on it first, Herr now at the plate. Here's the pitch. And we got a tough 0-0, another rare play. This time we'll go to the other rare play chart. And let's see what happens. Black die first. That is a 21. Batter hits a grounder up the middle. Roll 1d6. 1 to 3. Let's see. Roll 1d6. I'll draw a card. That is a 6 on the card. Shortstop dives for the ball. If the fielder's range is A or B, batter is out at first. Runner out, advance one base. So it's a range play is what it really is to the shortstop. That's Concepcion. His range is a D, so nope. His range is a D. Otherwise, ball gets past fielder for a single, and runners advance 2 bases. So it's a base hit for her as he gets it past Concepcion. And we got runners in the corners. Rare plays are kind of meh on that chart, but that's right now what I'm using for rare plays. So runners at first and third now, 2 outs. As Concepcion makes an error, and now he can't make a range play. The batter now is Jack Clark. Jack Clark can make this game very interesting with a swing of the bat. Fans here at Riverfront cheering on Stuper. McGee at third, Herr at first. Here's the pitch to Clark. And that is a tough 81 fly ball center field. Milner will have plenty of room. And once again, Stuper gets out of the inning, side retired. No runs for the Cardinals. 1 hit and 1 error. Halfway through the game, 7-1 Reds. Timeout on the field for a moment. Be right back. If the man at third had scored, run would have been unearned, right? That is correct. Run would have been unearned. Bottom half of the 5th inning. Like to remind you of more exciting action tomorrow on Inside Pitch, the 1985 one and gone. We have these same Cincinnati Reds. Only this time they are hosting the Cleveland Indians. So don't miss that matchup. Don't miss that much matchup tomorrow for the Cleveland Indians taking on the Cincinnati Reds. 1985 Inside Pitch one and gone, game number 3. It'll be Burt Blyleven going up against Tom Browning. That is a good matchup. And on Inside Pitch tomorrow night, we go back to the American League. The Toronto Blue Jays will face off against the Chicago White Sox. So that will be battle for Ohio, exactly. So Cleveland at Cincinnati, 1985 Inside Pitch one and gone. Toronto at Chicago White Sox. Payoff Pitch 85 tomorrow night. Cardinals need a pitcher. Let's see who leads off. We got Rose, Parker, and Nicely. I think with a switch hitter, a lefty, and a righty, I think the Cardinals are probably just bringing their best pitcher here. Let's see who they're going to go with. And coming on to pitch for the Cardinals is going to be Ken Daly. They will bring in the lefty. Ken Daly, 4-4, 2.76 ERA. Daly will pitch innings 5 and 6 if possible. So Ken Daly will pitch to Pete Rose here in the bottom of the 5th. How's my APA going? Haven't touched it lately. I'm still working on the master game. Believe it or not, I know how simple the basic game is. I like the master game better so far, but haven't purchased any seasons yet for it. I'm waiting. Probably won't get any for a little bit. I'm having too much fun with inside pitch and payoff pitch anyway. Ken Daly will pitch to Pete Rose. Rose batted .347 against lefties. Daly, tough, 0-3, struck him out. Rose will head back to the bench. Here's Dave Parker. Parker 1 for 3. Daly with the pitch. That is a patient 65. Fly ball left field. Coleman will get to that one. And that is out number 2. Alan Nicely will come up to bat now. He's 1 for 2 tonight. Daly looking in, and now the pitch. And that is a tough 28. Swing and a miss, struck him out. Nicely goes down, and that is the first 1-2-3 inning on the Reds in this game. As the Reds got a hit in every inning except this one. At the end of 5, still 7-1 in favor of the Redlegs. Top of the 6th. John Stuper. This is not his fatigue inning. His fatigue inning is the next one. Andy Van Slyke will lead off for the Birds. He's 0 for 2. Pitch. In play, 63. Ground ball to short. Taken care of easily by Concepcion. No error this time. Throws to first for out number 1. Here's Pendleton. Pendleton 2 for 2. 2 singles against Stuper. Pitch on the way. That is a tough 40. And what we got here? Popped up behind the plate. That's Nicely. The catcher is actually going to make a play on that. And that is the second out. Here's Ozzie Smith. Smith is 1 for 2 tonight. Here's the pitch from Stuper. And that is a wheelhouse 51. But he chops it to first base. An easy play there by Pete Rose. He'll take it himself. Tag the bag. Another 1-2-3 inning by Stuper. Nothing there for the Cardinals, as Stuper has outpitched Cox by a mile today in this game. And that will do it. We go to the bottom of the 6th, 7-1 Reds. Daly will pitch. Gary Reedus is the batter. Leads off here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Reedus is 2 for 3. A single and a double. Pitch coming. Tough. 0-1. Swing and a miss. Struck him out. Another strikeout by Daly. He averaged 8.6 per 9 innings. One of their better relievers in the bullpen. Here's Dave Concepcion. Concepcion is 0 for 2. He did walk in this game. Daly with the pitch. And that is a tough 54. And that will be a ground ball to third. Taken care of easily by Pendleton. Throws it over. Out number 2. And now Wayne Krenchicki. Daly looking. Daly is due to bat second in the 7th inning, so we know this is Daly's last inning. Daly will pitch it. That is a tough 55, and it's a fly ball left field. Coleman will get to that. And that's a 1, 2, 3 inning. So far, the Cardinal bullpen has done the job that the Cardinal starter, Danny Cox, could not do. At the end of 6, 7-1. Top of the 7th, Darryl Porter leads off for the Redbirds. This is John Stuper's fatigue inning, but he is not fatigued. He hasn't given up 3 runs yet. So Stuper is holding strong. He is due to bat second, so this is probably his last inning anyway, as the Reds will probably turn it over to the bullpen. Stuper's pitch to Porter. That's a wheelhouse 60, and that ball isn't high. That ball is hit deep, and that ball is gone. Home run, Darryl Porter. John Stuper pitches Darryl Porter a meatball, and he turns it into lasagna. It is out of here. As Stuper makes one big mistake in that one. It's now 7-2. Clean shot. Ken Daly due to bat. The Cardinals are bringing out a pinch hitter. And it was a righty, so let's see what they're going to bring in. And coming in to bat will be Mike Jorgensen. He will go up against Stuper. He had 102 at-bats, so Jorgensen will be the batter against Stuper here. We're in the 7th inning. I go by at-bats, not by average. I go by average in the 9th inning or later. Stuper will pitch to Jorgensen. That's a patient 45, and he walked him. Now he walks Jorgensen. He walks the pinch hitter. And believe it or not, would you believe that's the first walk issued by Stuper in this game? First walk issued. And he had 3.4 walks per 9. So Jorgensen on at first base, top of the order now for Vince Coleman. Still a 5-run lead, but with nobody out. Reds bullpen is getting ready. Here's the pitch to Coleman. And that is a patient 97, and it will be a fly ball left field. Coming under that will be Reedus. And that is out number 1, and Coleman is 0 for 4 today. Willie McGee will come up and take a hack. Jorgensen still on at first. Stuper with the pitch. And that is an in-play 52 single for Willie McGee. It's a base hit. Let's see what kind of hit. It is a line drive into center field. Jorgensen will hold at second, and McGee holds at first. And that is the second hit of the game for McGee. Runners at first and second now for Tom Herr. Still one out here. Top of the 7th, 7-2. And they're thinking maybe Stuper's due to bat second. They're going to see if he can get out of this inning. But if 1 run scores, he automatically becomes fatigued. So here's the pitch from Stuper to Herr. And that is a tough 65. That's a ground ball to third base. Herr's double play ratings a 5. Stuper's is an 8. That is a 6. They're only going to get 1 play. It's a ground to third. It's a ground ball to third. Jorgensen's run rating is a 5. The force out is going to be made at third base. They will throw to first, not get it in time. It will be 2 outs with runners still at first and second. That's another rule I kind of use. If you got a runner at third, if you got runners at first and second, and if you got a runner on second base and a ball is hit to third, the run rating of the runner at second base, Jorgensen was only a 4. There was no way he was going to make third quickly. So since it was hit to third, it's automatically a force at third. You try to get the double play, but you can't. So Hurst still gets there. It's still runners at first and second, but now with 2 outs. So that goes as a fielder's choice. And now the batter is Jack Clark. That's another kind of house rule I make up for that, so that runners at second can be thrown out at third on a ball at the third. Kind of like the rule that's used in inside pitch. Runners at first and second, now Clark the batter. Clark is 1 for 3. He has a double in the second. Trying to see if Stuper can get through this inning. 2 outs. Pitch. 9. Tough. 32. Swing and a miss. Struck him out. Clark goes down. 1 run on 2 hits and a walk. We are at the 7th inning stretch, and it is 7-2 Reds. In a big early season matchup between these two teams. As Dave Gardner fires up his first FAC game. Bottom of the 7th coming up. Got 2 lefties and a pinch hitter coming up for the Reds. I think the Cardinals will bring out a lefty to pitch. Let's see what they got. And they will do so. Here's Ricky Horton. Ricky Horton will come out to pitch for the Cardinals. 3-2, 2.91 ERA. Short reliever. So he can pitch innings 7 and 8. Leading off for the Reds will be Tom Foley. He'll bat. Seven to 2 now. Pitch from Horton. That's a tough 26, and it will be a pop out to second base. That's easily caught by her. That's out number 1. A well-done job by John Stuper, but he will come out, and they will bring in a pinch hitter against Horton. And with 148 at-bats, the pinch hitter will be Ron Oster. Oster, usually the second baseman, but he was not in today's lineup. Foley was in the lineup for this one. Ron Oster bats .277 against lefties. 1 out. Pitch from Horton. And that's an in-play 62. That's a line drive at right to short, right to Smith, out number 2. Nothing there for Oster. And now Eddie Milner, the batter. Milner having a great night. He's 3 for 4. Cards and Dice TV joins us here. Yep, Ron Oyster. Although I say Oster. Milner. Eddie Milner. Pitch from Horton. And that is a ballpark 11. That is a definite wheelhouse for Milner. Wheelhouse 23 is a base hit. Milner will trot down to first. Milner has his 4th hit of the game. He's now 4 for 5. 3 singles and a double. Here's Pete Rose. Milner on at second. Horton trying to keep this where it's at. Pitch from Horton. And that is a tough 0-0. Another rare play. That is the 3rd rare play of the game. Black die first. 46. Hit by pitch. Roll 2d6. If roll is 2, 3, 11, or 12, next batter also hit by pitch. And pitch was ejected. The Dwight Gooden roll. Oh, boy. I'll draw a card. It is an 8, which means it is not, the next batter is not hit by pitch, but Pete Rose is flunked. Ugh. So Horton plunks Rose, as if all that is a hit by pitch. Runners at first and second now for Parker. Parker is one for four tonight with 2 outs. Pete would never make that sound. Big time carbs. Phil and Dave, great rooster and eat pancakes. 2 outs. Horton will pitch to Parker. 7-2 Reds. Here it comes. Horton's pitch. In play, 22. That is definitely a base hit for Parker. It is a single. Milner, with a run rating of 10, scores easily from second base. Pete Rose's run rating is a 5. I will draw the card for that. It's a sharp liner into center field. Rose will only advance 1 base. He will have to hold at second. Parker at first. It's 8-2. As Steeler fan joins me now here, and Brandon Baker joins me here, and I'm pretty sure they're very happy to see the scoreboard as it stands. Allen Nicely comes up the bat. Still 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th. Runners at first and second. Ricky Horton trying to stop it, but the Reds are hitting ball today. Here's the pitch from Horton. And that is an in play, 23. The hits will continue. Single by Allen Nicely. Have to draw a card because of Rose with a run rating of 5. Soft blooper into short right field. Runner on first advances 2 bases. Runner on second does score. Rose will come in. It's 9-2 Reds. As the Reds are putting a hurt on the Redbirds tonight. Nine to 2. Next batter is Gary Reedus, and that'll be it for Horton as he's coming out, as he has proven to be ineffective. Bill Campbell will come out for St. Louis now. 5-3, 3.50 ERA. Runners at first and second. They'll pitch to Reedus. 9-2 Reds. As the Cardinals won this game 7-2 historically. The Reds are changing history. Here's the pitch from Campbell to Reedus. That is a ballpark 19. That is also a wheelhouse. That is also a 25. And that is also a crack. And that ball is hit high. That ball is hit deep. And that ball is hit gone. Home run, Gary Reedus. Three-run jack by Reedus. And the Reds are embarrassing the Cardinals tonight. Gary Reedus did hit 4 homers against right-handers, and that one was goner. And the Reds now take a 12-2 lead. Only 1 run is charged to Bill Campbell. The rest all go to Horton. Next batter is Dave Concepcion. Campbell will pitch to him. As the crowd heads for the exits here. Well, no, Riverfront Stadium. They would be sitting back in it. They wouldn't be going anywhere. They'll just be enjoying this. They'd be we're at Riverfront, not in St. Louis. Bill Campbell will pitch to Concepcion. And that is a tough 75. That is a fly out center field, and the inning finally comes to an end. And believe it or not, all of those runs and hits were done with 2 outs. 5 runs on 4 hits, a hit by pitch, and a 3-run jack by Ritas at the end of 12. It's the Reds all over the Cardinals, 12-2. Sometimes you get the pitcher's duels, and sometimes you get the blowouts. More beer here. I'm pretty sure there's plenty of beer in Riverfront Stadium. Andy Van Slyke will lead off for the Cardinals. Reds will go ahead and bring out a pitcher. With a 10-run lead, they really do not have to bring out their tough best pitchers. And coming out to pitch for the Reds will be Frank Pastore. 2-1, 3.83 ERA. Didn't have that many games, but he will pitch here. I'll bring him out. Frank Pastore will pitch to Andy Van Slyke, top of the 8th inning, a 12-2 Cincy lead. Pitch from Pastore. That is a tough 70. Fly ball center field. Taking care of that will be Milna. 1 out. As CP Cards and Dice says, Milna. Pastore. That's how it's pronounced. Pastore. Okay. Thank you, Larry Harris. Here's Terry Pendleton. Pendleton 2 for 3. 1 out. Here's the pitch. And that is a patient 06. That will be a walk. Pendleton will find himself on base for the 3rd time today. Ozzie Smith will now come up. Still 1 out. John Stuper actually outpitched Danny Cox in this game as Cox was chased after 4 innings. That's amazing. That's really, really strange. That's really interesting. 1 out. Pendleton on at first. Pitch from Pastore. That is a in-play 10. That is a single for Smith. It's a base hit. Line drive into left field. Pendleton will hold at second. He will not go any further. And now here's Darryl Porter. Porter, pretty much the only bright spot for the Cardinal lineup. He hit a home run his last time up. 1 man out. Now runners at first and second. Here's the pitch to Porter. And that is a tough 96 fly ball right field. Parker will get to it. That's a 2nd out. It's a tough pitch. Pendleton will stay right. It's a tough. Pendleton will stay right where he's at. 2 down. Now we'll see a pinch hitter for Campbell. Still going by at bats. So let's see who we want to bring in here for the Cardinals. Against righties, it will be Steve Braun. Braun will go up against Pastore. Had 66 at-bats against rights in 85, so he will go up against him. Runners at first and second. Frank Pastore has the record for the Amarillo 72-ounce steak dinner challenge, 9.5 minutes. Oh, I hope that steak was delicious because that sounds good. 2 outs. Runners at first and second. Steve Braun pinch hitting for Don Robinson. Pitch from Frank. That is a patient 37, and that is a walk. And now the bases are loaded for Vince Coleman. Coleman is 0 for 4 today. Bases loaded. A 12-2 lead. They're going to see if Pastore can get out of the jam. 2 outs. Coleman looking to make it maybe a home run. Coleman does not have much home run power. He did hit one against right-handers in 85. But a good double can make this game a little bit more interesting. Pitch from Pastore. That is an in-play. Another rare play. 0-0. That's the fourth rare play in the game. 3-3. Batter drives ball deep. Draw a card. 3. Batter drives ball deep to center field. Outfielder with a range of A or B makes a great catch and crashes into the wall. The ball is hit to center field. That is Milner, and his range is an A. He will make the play. He makes a great catch and crashes into the wall. If less than 2 out, runner on third scores on a sac fly, but it doesn't matter. That was the third out, and that does it. Wow. Eddie Milner, range of A, and he does make the catch. And the side is retired. That's just a fly out to center. No runs for the Cardinals on one hit and a couple of walks. Still 12-2 Reds. As Eddie Milner crashes into the wall, goes ahead and clears out the butterfly spinning above his head, but he's a baseball player. He says he's fine. Bottom of the 8th inning. Wayne Krenchicki will lead off for the Reds. He got a couple of lefties coming up, so let's see what the Cardinals want to bring out to pitch. No more lefties in the bullpen, but it's pretty much a mop-up situation. Here's Neil Allen. Neil Allen come up for St. Louis, 1-4, 5.59 ERA. He had 23. There were 23 games he pitched in 85. He was 27 years old. Neil Allen will play for the Cardinals. He'll go up against Wayne Krenchicki here, bottom of the 8th inning. 12-2 Reds, game pretty much already done. But let's see if we got any more hits. Here's the pitch to Krenchicki. That's an in-play 16. It will lead off with a base hit. Krenchicki smacks a single into center field. As the Reds continue to rack up hits. Tom Foley will come up to bat. Runner on first base. Believe it or not, all the Reds games you've seen on our channel, this may just be the third or fourth where they were the home team. Most team having to catch visiting Reds. Yeah. That's true. I bet a lot of Reds games are the visiting team. We got them at home this time. They will be home also for inside pitch tomorrow morning. Neil Allen's pitch. Defense 95. That should be okay. Error check to third base. Ball is at the Pendleton. His error rating is a 4. Not a problem. Pendleton will make the play. Let's see what kind of an out it is. And that will be a ground ball fielder's choice. So the ball goes to second to get Krenchicki. Foley safe at first. That is the first out. Pinch hitter coming up for Frank Pastore. He was due to bat next, so they will take him out. Let's see. 8th inning, so any bats against rights. And that will be Nick Asaski. Nick Asaski will come up to bat against Neil Allen. In the bottom of the 8th inning, 12-2 Reds. What seed are they in against whom for the tournament? I will get to that as soon as this inning is over. 1 out. Foley on it first. Here's the pitch from Allen. And we got another in-play 7. That is a base hit by Asaski. That's a single. Grounder up the middle to center field. Foley will hold at second. And Asaski holds it first. Runners at first and second. Here's Eddie Milner. Foley on second. Asaski first. Neil Allen just trying to do some mop-up roll here. Down 12-2. Game's pretty much done unless the Cardinals get a 10-run ninth inning, which, of course, stranger things have happened in my games. Pitch from Allen. Another in play, 07, and that will be a double by Milner. That is a double. Line drive into the center field alley. All runners will score. Foley will score. Asaski will score. Milner to second. It's 14-2. That is Milner's 5th hit of the game. He is 5 for 6. And the Reds continue to pour it on here. And it is now 14-2 in favor of the Reds. And that'll be it for Neil Allen as he comes in and can't do crap. Cardinals will now go with another pitcher. And they'll bring in Kurt Kepscher. 10-9, 4.75 ERA. He started 29 games, but he did come in relief a few times. Kurt Kepscher will now pitch. He will go up against Pete Rose, the runner with Milner on at second. Still one out here in the bottom of the 8th as the Reds absolutely are on fire. Here's the pitch. And that is a tough 95. That's a fly ball left field. And that will be out number 2 as Coleman puts that away. And here's Dave Parker. Members, stay tuned for 10-minute ticker as soon as the game is over. Milner on second. Kepscher will now pitch to Parker. And we got a patient 85. It's a fly ball center field. McGee will come over and make the catch. And that will do the inning. 2 runs, 3 hits for the Reds. 8 innings in the books, 14-2. The Reds have 2 touchdowns. The Cardinals are only able to get a safety. Top of the 9th. Willie McGee leads off for the Cardinals. Reds just need to send a pitcher. I'm pretty sure they'll bring in a mop-up reliever. And that's going to be Joe Price. Joe Price will come up to pitch. 2-2, 3.90 ERA. He'll go up against Willie McGee. Unless Price gives up 12 runs, I think he'll probably be out there. But we'll see what happens. McGee here. Will we see some 9th inning magic? Joe Price, the pitch to McGee. First pitch. That is a tough 90. Ground ball, shortstop. Easy play for Concepcion. Out number 1. To answer your question, yes, they are playing the Brandon Baker. The Reds are playing the Cleveland Indians, and it is a game in Riverfront. And it's Cleveland at Cincinnati. It's Cleveland at Cincinnati. That game's Riverfront. It'll be Burt Blyleven versus Tom Browning in that game for Inside Pitch, 1985, one and gone. Tomorrow night here on Payoff Pitch, we'll have the Blue Jays and the White Sox for tomorrow night's game. Here's Tom Herr. He'll bat next. Herr is 2 for 4 tonight. 1 out. Pitch from Price. Ballpark 60. That's an in play. In play 54. Line drive it right to second base. Right into Foley's glove. 2 outs. And now the batter is Jack Clark. Mercifully, this game is coming out. Joe Price pitching to Clark. 14-2 Reds. In a game where St. Louis won this game 7-2 historically. Pitch from Price. Tough. 67. Fly ball right field. Coming underneath it is Parker. Parker sets up, pats his glove, pumps once, pumps twice, puts out his glove, blop, and the ball falls into it. That's your game. Reds take out the Cardinals behind the woodshed, 14-2. I'll give you guys a final line score, then we'll set up for 10-minute ticker. For the Reds, 14 runs, 17 hits, 1 error. For the Cardinals, 2 runs, 10 hits, no errors. John Stuper gets the win. Danny Cox takes the loss. No save. As the Reds pretty much immolate the Cardinals 14-2 in tonight's game. Timeout coming up, and then we will have the 10-minute ticker. As you know, we now use the fact cards. It's a little bit faster now to do the 10-minute ticker. Split them up. Second day, first day. Here we go. Baltimore taking on Cleveland. Of course, I'll still mark first that the Reds did beat the Cardinals 14-2. Here we go. Baltimore at California. 4 win for the Orioles. They win that game 6-1. Toronto at Cleveland. That's an 8. It's a win for the Blue Jays. They win the game 8-2. Chicago White Sox at Kansas City. That's a 3. A win for the White Sox 7-1. Minnesota at Milwaukee. That's an 8. It's a win for the Brewers. Win the game 1-0. New York Yankees at Oakland. It's a 5. It is a win for the Yanks. 4-0 over the A's. Detroit at Seattle. That's an 11. Mariners get that win 7-2. Boston at Texas. It's a 3. It's a win for the Red Sox. 1-0 over the Rangers. Pittsburgh at Atlanta. It's a 9. The Braves get a win. They win that game 9-8. San Francisco at Montreal. 11. A win for the Giants. They will beat the Expos 4-3. Los Angeles Dodgers at New York Mets. It's an 8. It's a win for the Mets. Mets get the win 9-5. San Diego at Philadelphia. Padres get the win over a hot Phillies team. 9-9 extra innings, 10-9 for the Padres. Houston at Chicago Cubs for the Steeler fan. It's a 7. It's a win for the Cubs. They win that game 7-4. Day 2, May 27th. A Steeler fan says rigged. Minnesota at Boston. 6, a win for the Twins. They win that game 3-1. Baltimore playing California. It's a 9. It's a win for the Angels. 5-1. Texas at Kansas City. It's a 3. It's a win for the Rangers. They win that game 6-3. Cleveland at Milwaukee. It's a 3. It's a win for the Indians. 9-2 over Milwaukee. New York Yankees at Oakland. It's a 9. The Athletics get that win 6-0. Detroit at Seattle. It's a 2. That's a win for the Mariners. It's tie game 2-2. Extra inning 4-0 Mariners in extras. Chicago Cubs taking on Cincinnati. It's an 11. It's a win for the Reds. The Reds continue 1-1. +1 is 2. 2-1 Reds. Pittsburgh at Houston. It's a 10. That's a win for the Astros. They win that game 4-3. San Francisco at Montreal. It's an 8. A win for the Expos. 2-2 tie. +2. 4-2 Expos. Los Angeles at New York Mets. It's an 11. It's a win for the Mets. Mets get that win 1-0. They sweep the Dodgers. San Diego at Philadelphia. That's a 12. It's a win for the Phillies. They win that game 7-5. And that will do it for tonight's action on 10-Minute Ticker. If your team won tonight, congratulations. If they didn't, there's always tomorrow. And the fast action, my fact deck is already mixed up and ready for tomorrow's game with no problem. And we are done. Thank you all for joining me tonight. Steeler Fan 1933, Brandon Baker, Michael Peterson, Bears Den 007, Philip Reynolds, Cards and CP, Cards and Dice TV, Larry Harris, Dave Gardner, Kevin Hayes. Thank you all for joining me tonight. And I hope you'll join us for more exciting baseball action. Tomorrow, game number 1, Inside Pitch, 1985, one and gone. Cleveland at Cincinnati. Burt Blyleven versus Tom Browning. That should be a good game. Game number 2, Toronto Blue Jays at Chicago White Sox. Payoff Pitch 85. Thank you all for joining me, guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Stay safe, healthy, smart, and strong, and we'll see you later. 14-2. The Reds obliterate the Cardinals tonight. See you guys later. Take care.